Hi, everyone. This is Betsy Wurzel, your host of Chatting with Betsy on Passionate World Talk Radio, where our mantra is to educate, enlighten, and entertain. The views of the guest may not represent those of the station or the host. Always consult with your primary care physician about any medical issues. Folks, you're going to want to listen to my guest today. I do have phenomenal guests on my show to help you, the audience, have a better life. If you're a caregiver, you're going to want to listen to my guest. If you're not a caregiver, chances are you will be a caregiver or need a caregiver. And this show, you need to listen to it because it's always better to plan ahead. And with me today is I want to clone my guest. I want to clone my friend. She is vivacious. She is full of energy, full of passion for what she does. My guest is Jodi Benusa. She is founder and owner of Midwest Geriatric Consulting Services, LLC, which offers geriatric consulting and planning with purpose anywhere in the USA. Jodi is a highly experienced social worker, and she served for over 16 years in a inpatient discharge planner position at a level 2 inpatient hospital setting. And she also has certifications in care management and advanced care planning facilitation. And I don't want to forget this, Jodi Benusa also has a Facebook group, Elderly Care Planning with Midwest Geriatric Consulting, which will be in the blog. Now, folks, I want to tell you this because, you know, I'm a Jersey girl, and I serve it straight up. A lot of caregivers, they don't want to pay for services. They think people should give it away for free. No, services are not for free. You go to a dentist, you pay, don't you? You go to your doctor, you go to a salon, you pay. So if you want a consultant, you have to pay for services. And I'm going to tell you this, because this is you know, I'm always honest with my audience. And what you hear, this is me. Had I had known about Jodi Benusa 4 years ago, I can guarantee you I would have hired her for help to navigate hospice for Matt. And one of the reasons why I do the show and I'm so passionate about what I do is because I wish I knew about resources when I was caregiving for Matt. And I want you all to know about resources that I didn't know about because I want you to have a better caregiving experience. And I want to welcome Jodi Benusa to Chatting with Betsy. Welcome, Jodi.
Oh, thank you, Betsy. Thank you so much for having me. And I got to tell you, I can hear the passion in your voice. You know, we were chatting a little bit before about passion, and my passion is, you know, helping those who've lived before me. I have such a deep and intense love for the elderly that I want to do everything I can to help them with that stage of life. So, again, thank you for having me, and I can't wait to dig into today's discussion.
Oh, well, you are welcome. It is my pleasure. So, Jodi, you are an experienced social worker, and you started your business. What made you leave the hospital setting and go into business for yourself, helping people all over?
Yeah, that is really a great question. I don't know if I've been asked it that way, but immediately what comes to my mind is my passion. Betsy, I worked only on the ortho-neuro floor for 16 years. So was working with a lot of elderly people that would fall, break their hip, have a stroke, some kind of a trauma. Those were my patients, and those are the people that I really cared for. And I was working in that unit, and it was a level 2 trauma center, so that means the only patients we didn't take were burn victims because we didn't have a burn unit. So we took the worst of the traumas. So I've really honestly seen it all. And I remember so clearly about wanting to help my families and my patients, but not being able to serve them like they deserved because of hospital rules and Medicare regulations. It wasn't until I was talking to my dad as I was walking to work one day. I was paying attention to him, but I wasn't because I was crossing streets and dodging traffic. And he said something that caused my brain to arc to a different thought about being a slave to something. And I looked up, Betsy, and there was my hospital. And I went, oh my goodness. I have such a passion, but I am such a slave to Medicare. Not saying that Medicare is all bad, but I was such a slave to Medicare and the hospital rules. 13 days after that, I was gone. I quit.
Wow.
And had no idea what I was going to do. My husband said, yes, go ahead and quit. And literally within 24 hours of not having to go back, I really didn't realize how angry I was. I'm a very happy-go-lucky person and serve and help people, but once I got out of that environment, I was just released of all the tension and stress about getting that patient out, opening up another bed. It doesn't matter. Get them out. I felt so much better. And then my husband and I were driving to Colorado 2 weeks after that for a vacation. And I was driving. He was sleeping in the seat. He does a lot of driving, and I like driving, so I let him sleep while I was driving somewhere across South Dakota. And the idea of my geriatric practice, my consulting practice, literally fell on my lap. I almost had to pull over. The whole entire business plan, the business, was downloaded to me while I was on that vacation. I have a whole notebook full of notes from that date. And I came back and I spent the rest of the year organizing the business, the dynamics of it, how it was going to work, to the launch of it just a little over a year ago. And here I am helping people all across the United States. You know, I have people tell me from time to time, you know, maybe I need to find somebody local. And I do understand that thought, but at the same time, the most important thing, no matter if you hire somebody local or if you hire someone like me, get a grip on their passion. Because the more passionate they are about your loved one, the more they're going to do and the more they can serve.
Oh, true. Oh, Jodi, I agree, because I'll tell you, I see a difference. Yeah, I worked in a hospital setting. I worked as a nurse. And there's a difference between people who care and people who don't. Mm-hmm. And you see it in how they treat people. And I had a hospice social worker who was from hell. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, we had a hospice from hell experience. And she was not a very nice person. And she was not great to deal with. So when I hear people like you who are full of passion and want to help people, it almost makes me want to cry, because I just get fills my heart with joy that there are people out there who care and that want to help people. And that just warms my heart, because it's such a difference. And I just have to say that, because, you know, when you have, I'll tell you folks, and, you know, I just say it the way it is. When you have a social worker, and this one was from hospice, okay, you think she'd be caring, compassionate, because that's how hospice is supposed to be, and had the audacity to tell me I wasn't given Matt's medication right, it was my fault that he was agitated, and that Matt couldn't possibly have a headache, I had to put her in her place real fast. Yeah. Yep. But I digress. You are so right. And so my personal social work philosophy, I've kind of adapted my own personal one, and this happened while I was at the hospital working. I would not
walk into a patient's room unless I had the attitude that that person lying in that bed was my family. And I got to tell you, I could not be any larger of a family person. Now, I'm going to let you in on a secret. I don't like all of my family, but I tell you what, if that family member that it's not at the top of my list, if they needed my help, I would be right there. And that's to say that, you know what, I didn't like all the patients I had in the hospital, but I walked in with that attitude that that person is my family. They got my best. End of story. Mm-hmm. It didn't matter. It didn't matter what they were giving me or how they were pushing back. I treated them like my family, and they got the best of me. And I brought that philosophy over to my business today.
That's how I feel. That's how I treated people too, Jodi. You know, as a family, like how would I want my child or how would I want my mom or dad treated, or my spouse treated. And, you know, I believe everyone should be treated with respect and dignity from beginning of life to end of life. And I know I had talked about this before, but I just want to tell the audience, folks, people are wising up now to aging in place, planning for aging. I live in New Jersey. My local paper is now going to run a series on Sundays about aging. And they had an article this past Sunday that a lot of baby boomers in New Jersey, they're going to hit 60 in the next 5 to 10 years. I'm already past 60. I'm 65. So talk about my generation. And a lot of people don't have a clue as far as aging, end-of-life care. And if I just want to say to the audience, if you are already a caregiver, you need to plan. You need to have plan A, B, and sometimes a C. Don't wait for a crisis. A lot of people do. Jodi has seen it. You don't want to wait for a crisis. You want to plan ahead. Conversations such as end of life, where do you want to go when you can no longer take care of yourself, they're not pleasant. They're not a pleasant conversation, but it's a necessary one. And I'm very passionate about that too. So, Jodi, how do you help people? And if you could tell the audience what you do. I know you have different packages.
Sure. Before I dive into that, I want to go back to what you just said, just real quickly. I am in such a unique position because I am on the front line. I really am. And I'm going to just say this because I hope that it brings someone to reality. I hope it brings someone to reality that the biggest mistake that caregivers make is waiting too long to find help.
Yes.
I agree. I want to say that again. Because it is so important. The biggest mistake that caregivers can make is waiting too long. If you know that a care plan change is inevitable and it's got to happen, you just don't know when, that's when you seek help. That's when you start to get a plan in place. That's when you talk to your loved one. That's when you make the plans. That's when you agree on things, not in the midst of a crisis. I can't tell you how many heartbreaking stories that I would get when I was working in the hospital with a frail person doing something that they shouldn't have done, and they would fall and fracture their hip, and now they're in the hospital. They were living on their own, but now they're caught in this horrible place. They have a fractured hip. They're elderly. They're frail. Now they have to go to rehab, so to speak. Who wants to do rehab when you're 95 years old, right? But now that's kind of how it goes. But there was no plan, and now they can't go back home after rehab for one reason or the other. And now they're just caught. And it's so easy, Betsy, for those folks to get that mindset. And here's where I'm different. Here's where my thinking is different. I want to help the elderly live their very best life. What they have left, let's celebrate it. Let's make it. They deserve it. They made it this far. Let's celebrate it instead of going to a community or a facility to die. There's such a difference in how you think.
Yes. Yes.
So the earlier you plan, the more ready you are, the better it's going to be. I'm actually writing a course right now. I'm hoping to get it done yet this spring, and it's for people in our age bracket, Betsy. It's titled Aging by Design, Not by Default.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it's so intriguing, and how we can plan to age. And we just don't wake up and do the same routine day after day, but we actually have plans and we actually have goals as we age. It's coming together nicely, and I can't wait for it to get completed. So, but now back to your question is, how do I help people?
Yes.
So I'm going to start with, I do offer hourly consultations and or coaching if that's what you need, and that would be for you if you are a caregiver or if you're one of the elderly yourself and you're just kind of caught. You don't know what to do. You don't know what next steps to take, or you're just kind of stuck. And if you just want to spend an hour with me, you can hire me. I'll coach you through it. I know the ins and outs of the healthcare system. I know exactly how to get doctors mad at me, which is really a good thing in the end, because I know the system so well. So if you just want to spend an hour with me just talking about a certain subject or a topic, let's do that. That's exactly, because it might not be time quite yet for you to work with me as far as like placement or figuring out what next steps. But if you are past that, and if you know that your loved one is going to need assisted living, some kind of a community, long-term care, hospice, home health, whatever it is, I do offer, you refer to my 3 packages. And the Elite package is the top of the line. That's the Cadillac. That's exactly for you if you don't have time because you're employed and doing another job. That's if you don't have the knowledge to maneuver the healthcare system, because it gets tricky and it's hard. I know exactly what orders need to be written. I know exactly what to say. I know exactly what to do. If you don't want to deal with that, I can help you find a realtor that will downsize your loved one so they can move into a community. Whatever it is, I have the resources to help you with that. So the Elite package is everything from start to move-in date. It is phenomenal. I have so many success stories with that. I have one client that says, "You saved my mother's life." When the family called me, the woman, she had some dementia, and mostly short term, not too bad, but I would hear the same story several times over, and we would chat. And she was losing weight, and she was sick, and she was going to the hospital every week, and I saw her deteriorating. I knew what was happening. And so I very gently and lovingly kept pushing the family forward, and they would call me, they would lean on me, we would chat, we would email, and I would say, now we're doing this. I found exactly the perfect assisted living community for her. She has rebounded. She has gained 30 pounds. She is happy. She's participating in all of the activities. And she is, the daughters still message me here and there and say, thank you for saving my mom's life. She is so happy. We don't know if we've ever seen Mom this happy. So that's my real specialty, is finding those exact places that people need to go. So that's my Elite package. That I got her moved in. I did everything. The family did nothing except take her to her doctor's appointment and help her move in. That's all they did. They didn't have to do anything else.
That's powerful, Jodi. I mean, that had to make you feel top of the world. I mean, that's really a testament. And see why, folks, I want to clone Jodi if I could.
Well, yes, it made me extremely happy, but what makes me happy is seeing my clients thrive. That's where my joy comes from. That's where it comes from. Then I have my next package, which is really an awesome package in itself, too. In that package, you get my functional screen, just like you do in the Elite. I still do all the homework. I find the top 3-4 places that I think your loved one is going to be happiest in. And let me just say this, too. I don't have to go to a community to know if I like it or not. I can call and I can talk. I can ask for the director of nursing, not afraid to do that, and talk. I know what questions to ask. And I can talk to the marketing person. And I can tell within 2 minutes if I want to put my name or put my client at risk by making a referral to that place. I can tell right away. If I don't like the vibe or what's happening in our phone call, you don't go on my referral list. It's that simple. So with this intermediate package, you get my recommendations, you get the screen, and then you actually get a blueprint, exactly how I do the job, and whether we decide it's home health that you need, if it is assisted living that you need, or long-term care or hospice. I give you a blueprint. This is what you do. And you check off the list. You just go right down the list step by step. And then I have my basic package, which is really a good value. That is my functional screen, and then I still do the homework. I still find my top 3-4 recommendations, and then you're on your own to go ahead and fulfill, make that happen for your loved one. So I've got 3 ways to do it, plus the hourly consulting and coaching. I love coaching, by the way, too.
Wow, that is so phenomenal. I mean, that sounds wonderful. I'll tell you where I got confused with, Jodi, where I could have definitely have used you to help me with the hospice process. Now, I don't know if it's different in different states. I live in New Jersey, and when Matt was on Medicare, and Medicare does pay for hospice. Now, this is going back 4 years ago. Hospice is paid for by Medicare, but what Medicare told me at the time was that I had to choose from the companies that they approved of.
Correct.
There's many different hospices in my area, but they only approve certain ones.
Yep. The hospice has to have a contract that's, yep.
Oh, still like that.
Certified.
Okay.
Yep.
And that's where they get you.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Let me give you an example of something that I'm working with a client right now. This is going to blow your mind, Betsy. So this is how passionate I am about helping the elderly. So I have a client right now. He was forced to retire last November, so November of 22, due to dementia. He was forced. However, he turned 65 in 2014. So he worked all of those years while he was over 65. A lot of people don't know this. He had Medicare Part A, but you can't get Medicare Part B until you are fully retired. Because he had private insurance, he couldn't get Medicare Part B because that would be double dipping in the insurance world. So immediately when he retired, his wife did the right thing. She applied for Medicare Part B. He was denied, Betsy. Denied.
Wow.
The wife worked and worked and worked, denied. We need proof of employment from the years 2011 through 2014. She tried and tried and tried. Finally, she somehow heard about me. They live in Chicago. She heard about me. She called me, hired me. I have done so much digging and so much investigative work that I got everything verified except the year 2011. And Social Security will not forgive that. They're going to make him pay a penalty, Betsy. In the meantime, since November, he's been paying COBRA insurance, so he has insurance. So
That's crazy.
I worked. Yes, it's crazy. And worked, and the wife is just like beside herself, like, Jodi, I don't know how you're even getting this far. I don't know how you're doing this. But finally, I got his congressman involved, and I call them or email them every day, and like they're tired of hearing from Jodi. I'm not mean or pushy or anything, but I'm calling for my daily update. What do you got for me today? And any day we should get verification from the IRS for his 2011 verification of employment, and then he'll be fully covered. But this poor couple who couldn't hardly email or nevertheless scan documents, I mean, they're left trying to figure this out and so frustrated with the entire system. And that's my point, is I get the system. I know how to get in through the back door, and that's what I love. I love that chase, so to speak. So anything I can do to help the elderly, sign me up.
Well, that does thrill my heart. I really, I tell people about my experience to help other people, Jodi, so they don't make the same mistake that I made. I did wait. Well, no, I don't think I waited too long to get met on hospice. It's just unfortunate that the hospice came out of the local hospital that was recommended by the doctor, and I knew that facility had a hospice unit because even if I went with, I really didn't have many choices for my area, and I knew Matt would have ended up in that unit because the other places didn't have units. And then some of these hospice centers aren't covered by Medicare. Right. And, and their private pay is really expensive. I couldn't afford that. But I really wish that I had someone to help me. And I'll tell you what, if I had to do it over again, I would have gladly paid the fee and not have had the aggravation that I had. And I was in the cardiologist's office on Monday. It broke my heart. I saw this elderly gentleman by himself. Can't believe the man drove. This man could barely walk. I don't even know how he drove himself. He's probably alone. No one to take care of him. I seen probably, people my age with their parents. And the baby boomer generation, we're taking care of children sometimes and our parents.
Yeah, the sandwich generation. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Excuse me. And a lot more people are going to be needing services. Matter of fact, when Matt was in hospice, the hospice doctor told me that he starts talking about end-of-life planning at the age of 65. I said, why are you waiting till 65? She talked about that much earlier.
Absolutely.
And did you help people with that also, Jodi? Do you guide people to that?
Yes, definitely. Yep. And that's part of the course that I'm writing, too, about aging by design, not by default. Totally, absolutely, that fits right in there. Something that popped into my mind as you were talking there, Betsy, I was really imagining that elderly gentleman sitting there in the cardiology waiting area there, and imagining him driving there. And, maybe he's fine. We don't know that. But, Betsy, what breaks my heart is so many elderly people are so afraid of leaving their home.
Yeah.
Because they feel like it's a death sentence. But if we shift that thinking, and if we shift that attitude, and if we can really embrace, no, I'm going to that community to live. Like, I'm already planning. Like, I don't want my kids taking care of me. I tell you what, Jodi Benusa is going to go to a community the minute that it even is needed, because I want to live my best life. I want to be treated like a queen. I don't know about you, but I want to be treated like a queen. I want my laundry done. I want my meals cooked. I want my apartment cleaned. I want to be transported. So it's just really trying to break that thought process of I'm going there to die. Oh, how horrible is that? No wonder they don't want to leave.
That's true.
In fact, staying in your home, being lonely, being isolated, not being able to do things, you're dying faster.
Yes.
You really are. And if you can get that shift, I'm going to this community to live. Do you know, Betsy, how many senior living communities have happy hours now?
Wow.
It's incredible. They have actual bars in their communities, and you can go, depending on the community, every day at 4 o'clock for happy hour. Some are once a week. It just all depends. But, if that's important to my clients, you better believe I'm going to find a community that has happy hour. So there's so much that is being offered nowadays. And this is important, too. If you know that transitioning to assisted living is going to happen, get there as soon as you can, because so many communities are now embracing the aging in place philosophy. So that means you're never going to have to leave your apartment, that they're going to do everything they can to help you stay right there. You can age safely in place right there in your comfortable little apartment. Their goal is to never have you move. Now, if you do have some dementia going on, and if you do get some pretty severe behaviors, wandering, or if you put other residents in danger, you might need to be moved to a different area of the building into memory care so you are safe. But, gosh, Betsy, assisted livings now, depending on their licensures, and that's something else I look into, they do Hoyer lifts. They do an assistive tube. I know one facility that is local to me just because I worked with them while I was at the hospital. They do total cares in assisted living. So it's just a matter of finding the right place. So if you know that assisted living is going to be needed, get in there, because a lot of times if you are an assistive too, assisted living cannot admit you. But if you progress to that, they can meet your needs. Did that make sense how I said that?
Yes, it does. I had to share this with you, Jodi, and the audience. My mom, God bless her, she's going to be 93 this month. She's been in her assisted living for a year. My mom went in at the age of 91. Was she 92? Mm. Well, she was almost 92 when she went into the facility. Now, my mom was bent that she was going to stay in her house, but she was falling. And my younger brother said, Ma, you got to go. Now, if I said that would be terrible, but since he's the king, he could do no wrong, that was okay. She didn't like anything near him, but her best friend, this is so cute in a way, her BFF for like 60 years was in this facility, and she liked it. So she went into this facility in New Jersey, and, she goes out. My mom is very active, social butterfly. They go out once a week. My mother plays games. They have all different, entertainment. They have services. And, I said, Ma, you don't have to cook. You get your laundry done. It's nice. You could just sit back and relax. And she fell in the bathroom. She fractured her pinky, and she needs assistance now, which she doesn't like. She doesn't like anyone helping her. But, and she said, I really can't complain. It's pretty nice here. So this is why you have to plan ahead. And I'll tell you, Jodi, I'm not just saying this because I like you and you're a new friend. I can read your energy, and I know you're passionate, and I know what a great job you do. And that's why I had to talk to you. I had to have you on my show because you're such a wonderful resource that I want the world to know about you. And, you know, outside the U.S., if you're hearing this, see if there is someone in your part of the world that does what Jodi does. Jodi, do you refer people? Do you know of anyone outside the U.S. that does what you do?
I'm going to be honest, Betsy, and tell you I have not found anyone even in the U.S. who is doing exactly what I'm doing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, there are people that have similar, but as broad as I am and as passionate as I am, I'm even going to tell you if you are international, if you are outside of the U.S., and if you want an hour of coaching because you're stuck, give me a call. Let's do it. I get it. Every client, Betsy, that I've had so far, without fail, the kids have said, "Oh, you know, we can't get mom on the phone. We can't get dad on the phone. They're gonna reject this. They're gonna get upset. They're gonna be mad at us." And I explain, I have to speak with them. Ethically, I have to. I cannot move forward. Even though you've already paid me to do this, I cannot move forward until they agree. And every time the client will get on the phone or the Zoom call or whatever it is that we do, and they say, "Oh, yeah, I don't know why I'm talking to you. I'm not leaving." And by the end of the conversation, without fail, every client has said, "Now I understand, and now I see. And let's move forward." So it's just me knowing how to break the barriers, get through the fears, because it's scary, Betsy. It's scary for that elderly person. And to acknowledge that fear and talk it through. Without fail, I have never had a client deny me to move forward.
That is so awesome. You are awesome, Jodi. Folks, I'm telling you, I have phenomenal people on, phenomenal guests, like I said, to help you have a better caregiving experience, to help you help your loved one. And I really, chatting with Betsy, came from, actually, well, Matt is my catalyst and always will be why I do what I do. But I always say, you know what? Oh, I wish I knew about this person when Matt was alive. I wish I knew about this resource. And I was like, you know what? I got to have in my show, not just like interview, you know, caregivers. I interview a variety of people, but I want people on that are passionate and that are wonderful resources to help people. And you are one of those people, Jodi Benusa. And wish I could hug you in person, but I'm hugging you through virtual lines. Folks, to me, I'm a Jersey girl, so I'm going to just say it like it is. No brainer. I would call up Jodi Benusa, then go on her website, because it's so important to have planning in place. There are people who go to the emergency rooms all the time and no plans in place, not even having a clue. Let someone help you. You know, I think it's well worth the money. And again, I wish I knew. You know, sometimes people don't even know about resources in our own area. I just met someone, I'm going to interview her next month, that's in the town over. Didn't know about her. I met her on Alignable. I mean, it's crazy that we don't know what's available in our backyard or nationwide that can help us. And Jodi, I want you to give your website and how people can get in touch with you.
Yeah. So if something I said sparks some interest, or if you want to chat with me further, I just want to put it out there. I do offer a free 30-minute clarity call is what I call it. So you'll see that in my website. And during that call, I listen to you, and I decide whether or not I can help you. I haven't really turned anyone down yet. But then if we decide to work together, then we move forward from there. So I do give you 30 minutes to tell me what's going on, and then I can decide really rather quickly yes, I know I can help you. And then we move forward. But the best way to get in touch with me is really to go to my website. It is MidwestGeriatricConsultingServices.com. Pretty simple. I know it's long. There's a reason behind the name. I'm a Midwest girl. My heart's in the Midwest, which you know what? That's okay because I was born and raised on a dairy farm, and I've got that good old hard work ethic. So I don't quit until a job is done because when the sun is shining, the hay's got to be made. So, that's really my work ethic, and I don't stop. I keep going and I keep pushing through until all the barriers are broken down. But if you go to that website, MidwestGeriatricConsultingServices.com, you'll see lots of buttons on there. You can click any one of the buttons and it's going to lead you to me. So really easy. My contact information is in there as well. So, and my Facebook group, like you mentioned, it's a different kind of a Facebook. That is really to nurture caregivers. That's to give them new things to think about. It's to nurture them and to. It's not a group. We don't complain. Nobody posts really except me, and if I approve it, that's fine. But it's to give you encouragement. It's to give you advice. It's to educate you, and it's a great space just to learn. So either one of those places.
Oh, I'll tell you what, Jodi, I checked out your website. I check out my guest website. Well, one, because I have to do research, two, because I'm nosy. I'm curious, and I'll tell you, folks, if I could get on the website and figure it out, anyone can, because I'm tech challenged. But it's a great website. Jodi offers a lot, and when you have your course, that will be on there. So I would suggest going on the website, keep checking to see when Jodi offers her course. What's it, Aging by Design?
Aging by Design, not by default. Yeah, and I do offer free classes periodically. One that I like to offer 2-3 times a year is how to have those difficult discussions with your aging loved one. Like, I teach you how to do it. So it's really interesting and I try to keep it within 30 minutes so I don't make it too long, but I always like to do it live because if you have questions, I want to answer them. So,
that sounds good. Yeah, that sounds really good.
Classes. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I went on, I said, Jodi has a Facebook group, but I didn't know if I would qualify to join because I'm not I am a caregiver, but not to someone with the geriatric line.
No, you would absolutely qualify. You know why? Because you're there to learn. You're there to learn. Because whatever you can learn, you can share.
Right. Oh, good. I'm going to join tonight.
All right. I'll have to make sure to approve you, Betsy.
I'm going to, we'll go on it tonight. I didn't know if it was like for professionals or just, caregivers.
Everyone is in there. Anyone who wants to learn.
Oh, excellent. And I always tell people, you know what? You could belong, and I do, to more than one support group. Jodi's in my support group, #Kick Alzheimer's Ass Movement. Everyone's welcome to join. And, I went crazy. I went crazy in 2014 joining support groups because I had no support. For 14 years, I had no support. And I went nuts. Then I weeded it out. But I want to thank you, Jodi Benusa, for coming on today. You are a classy lady. You are passionate, energetic. I just love you. And folks, you have to check Jodi Benusa out. Go on her website. I think you'll be very happy with what you see on the website. And, a 30-minute free clarity call, why not?
Yep.
That's, to me, I would grab anything that's free, see if you two click, and go from there. Because let me tell you what, it's hard, and I know this. I was in the medical field. It's hard to find caring people. People are very rushed. People are in it for the, some people are just in it for the money. Jodi's in it for the passion. Yes, she wants to make a living, but she's passionate, and she will help you, and she goes over and beyond. I could see that. I could feel that with her clients. So if you want someone who is passionate, caring, loving, goes the extra mile, give Jodi Benusa a call. I would. And I can't thank you enough, Jodi, for helping other people doing what you do. We need more Jodi Benusas. And that's Jodi with the I, folks, Jodi. Benusa. Thank you so much.
Oh, Betsy, thank you so much. Thank you. Any time that I can talk to people, that lights me up. So any time that I can help anyone, and I enjoy talking to you every time we chat. So again, thank you for inviting me, and thank you for allowing me to share today.
Oh, you are welcome. My pleasure. Folks, please share this show to help other people. Maybe you know a caregiver. Maybe you know someone who's looking to be placed or needs help with their loved one, finding a hospice, placement, maybe just in-home services. Tell them about this show. Tell them about Jodi Benusa. This is how we help one another. And I always say this, and I'm going to keep saying it. When you share this show, you are helping other people, but you're helping me honor my husband's memory. And I promised Matt that I would carry on after he died. And I am doing that. I am honoring Matt's memory. And this show is where it is because why it happened was because of Matt. I went in my car to raise awareness on early onset Alzheimer's and speaking about caregiving. And Jeannie White, who's station manager, Pastoral Talk Radio, discovered me. And they say the rest is history. But I want to thank Jeannie White, who's station manager, who writes the blog and produces the show. Please read the blog because it will have the information about Jodi Benusa and how you could contact her and join her Facebook page. And I want to thank William Caldwell, who's CEO of Pastoral Talk Radio, makes this all possible. And again, thank you for listening. Please subscribe to Chatting with Betsy. It is for free on iHeart, YouTube, just to name a few, Spotify, Spreaker. And I have phenomenal guests on. You don't want to miss any of my guests because, hey, I go to my own horn, toot. This show rocks. I have to say so. Great guest. And I just want to help people. That's my mission. That's my vision, folks. It's been that way. I want to invite the audience. Look at my Facebook page, Betsy, Betsy, Wurzel, Wurzel. You'll see old videos of me popping up. I just saw one that popped up 6 years ago, telling people, get out of the closet. I call it get out of the dementia closet and shine a light. Let's personalize this disease with pictures of our loved ones. Let's put names and faces on this horrific disease and make it personal. And if you see my videos, you know I have not changed. Maybe I got a little louder, but I'm still passionate as ever. And I've been speaking about Alzheimer's for the past, 6 to 7 years. I lose track of time. And I just, that's what I have to say today, folks. I think I got everything. I think I said everything. And I just want to thank everyone again. This is, yes, I know what I forgot to say. As I always end my show, in a world where you could be anything, please be kind, shine your light bright, because if we all did that, it would be a much brighter, kinder world. And until we chat again, be kind, shine your light bright, and stay safe, everyone. This is Betsy Wurzel, your host of Chatting with Betsy on Passionate World Talk Radio. Bye-bye now.